Welcome back, friends. Here is a list of the top 5 movies like The Reader 2008, and hoping that you love such entertaining content. Please be sure to subscribe. For just a quick recap, The Reader, written by David Hare, along with Bernhard Schlink and directed by Stephen Daldry, was about the impact of Ralph Fiennes as Michael Berg's relationship with a middle-aged woman, and an illiterate bus ticket collector Kate Winslet as Hannah Schmitz, when he was still a young man. The impact it had throughout their lives to her tragic death. At number 5, The English Patient, 1996.
Why did you follow me yesterday?
I'm sorry, what?
After the market, you followed me to the hotel.
In this war romantic drama that won 9 Oscars, directed by Anthony Minghella, back in the 1940s, Ralph Fiennes as Almasy was on the National Geographical Society team, which was at the time based in Cairo, with making the African map as their main emphasis. This was when he met with one of the executives supported by the British government, Colin Firth as Geoffrey Clifton, and his wife Kristen Scott Thomas as Catherine Clifton. Kate and Almasy immediately started having a thing for each other, and when Geoffrey left his wife behind with the National Geographical team to attend to some businesses, Catherine and Almasy made it a habit of sneaking around. She madly fell for him, but could not leave her husband because Almasy was not willing to commit until one night on their anniversary, when the husband found out. The way he did was, he wanted to surprise her with something, since she had forgotten about their big day, so he lied that he was not going to make it back home. Yet he was. Because she thought her husband was going to stay at work, she went to Almasy's. The husband found out but kept it a secret. Catherine tried to stop what they were doing, but Almasy was not willing to. The more Geoffrey kept it a secret, the more rage he got within his chest, until one day when he wanted to crush Almasy with his plane, with Kate on it, so that the three of them could die. But Almasy survived it. Unfortunately, because these were war times, when the British made him enemy for no reason, or maybe Geoffrey planned it before his death. He made a deal with the Germans and give them the maps they wanted, in exchange for a plane to get Kate's body from the desert, which was shot down as an enemy plane. Among the Oscars, this film won. Juliette Binoche won Best Actress in a Supporting Role. At number 4, The Hours, 2002.
You've been so good to me, Mrs. Dalloway.
In this romantic drama directed by Stephen Daldry, Nicole Kidman as Virginia Woolf in 1923 was a talented poet, but very unhappy, simply because every decision in her life always had to be made by someone. Because she had psychotic problems, she tried taking her own life 2 times, her reasons being she was tired of things being decided for her, especially since these were times when everything was almost decided by men. The only decisions she could fully make her own were in her writings, so she wrote this book where a person had to die, and when her husband, who was also her publisher manager, asked why, she was like, it was because one had to die for others to value the gift of life. When he asked who was to die, she was like the poet with the vision. The husband thought she was kidding, and after she finished her book, she took her own life. The problem was that this book had a negative impact on some readers, like Julianne Moore as Laura Brown in the 1950s, who, because she was unhappy in her marriage, thought she could take her own life. Even though she could not, she ran away and left her children behind. Which also had a negative impact on her son Ed Harris as Richard Brown, who took his own life after years of fighting AIDS. This film won Nicole Kidman an Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role. At number 3, Blue Jasmine, 2013.
We were very civic-minded.
Yeah, with other people's money. This guy lost every penny of Ginger's money.
In this romantic comedy drama written and directed by Woody Allen, Cate Blanchett as Jasmine was married to Alec Baldwin as Hal, who got rich scamming people's money, but she never seemed bothered by it for the years they were together. For most times, she would be bothered by her adopted sister Sally Hawkins as Ginger, because she was married to a broke guy. And guess what? One day when Ginger and her broke husband won this lottery of around $200,000 that they had never held before, when she went to seek for business advice from her sister's husband on how they should invest their money, Hal scammed them too, which led to the divorce of Ginger and her husband. Years later, Jasmine found out that Hal was always cheating on her, and this time around, he admitted he was going to leave her for an 18-year-old girl, and she reported all his shady businesses to the FBI out of anger, without thinking about the consequences first. The FBI arrested Hal and took all their assets. Hal took his own life in prison, and because Jasmine was left with nothing, the only option she was left with was going to her sister Ginger, so that she could get back on her feet again. Because she left college in her last year, her target was to get back to school, learn computer and online decoration to make something meaningful for herself. But work and studying were very challenging to her. She opted to get a rich guy who would support her kind of lifestyle, but When the guy she had got found out about her past on the last day for them to get married, he canceled the wedding. She got misunderstandings with her sister Ginger about her test, 4 broke guys and left. She ended up homeless, regretting her decisions. This film won Cate Blanchett an Oscar for Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role. At number 2, Closer, 2004.
Am I a stranger?
No, you're a job.
In this romantic drama directed by Mike Nichols, a young lady, Natalie Portman as Jane Jones, Rachel left America running away from a toxic relationship to London, and the first person she met was Jude Law as Dan, after an accident right in front of him. Dan was a journalist specialized in writing obituaries. He took her to the hospital and made sure she was fine, and this was how they got to know each other. Though the problem was she lied about her name. She told Daniel Wolfe that she was called Alice Ayres, a name she spotted at the park nearby. They started living together for years while she was working as a waitress at some cafe. She inspired Dan to write a book about her, since writing was what he always wanted. After like 2 years happily together, their relationship started stumbling when Dan met Julia Roberts as Anna the photographer for his book cover, separated from her husband. Because of Dan, a doctor called Larry met Anna at the aquarium on her birthday, and their relationship picked up from there after Larry realized that he was a victim of the internet. Long story, Dan and Anna started sneaking around behind their partners' barks, until when they decided to break up with them to start living together, which did not actually work out as they intended after Larry psychologically played with their minds to sign the divorce papers. At number 1, Little Children, 2006.
So one of them bet me $5 I couldn't get your phone number.
$5, huh?
In this romantic drama directed by Todd Field, Kate Winslet as Sarah Pierce was a housewife unhappily married to Greg Edelman as Richard Pierce. Then there was Patrick Wilson as Brad Adamson, who had a degree in law, but failed the bar exam 2 times, meaning as his wife Jennifer Connelly, as Kathy Adamson was always the home provider, as he stayed behind to babysit their son. For most times, Brad would take his son to the gardens, and what started as a bet from Sarah's friends, to see if she could get Brad's number, the two became addicts to each other, to the point they wanted to run away together. Thanks for watching if you have come this far, and until next time, God bless.